Students, today we are starting our new chapter, and that is the chapter number 6. And in this chapter we will discuss the two major components. First one is the capacitor and the other one is the inductors. So first of all we will discuss the capacitors, that what capacitors are. So capacitors are basically used to store the energy, and that energy is stored in the electric field. That one thing that is very necessary to note in it, that the storage of energy always it is in the electric field. So when the other definition of capacitor is this, the capacitors are used to store the charges. So what the charges are? Basically the charges are in an electric field. We always discuss the charges in an electrostatics, in an electric field. That's why we say this, the capacitors are used to store the energy in the electric field. So basically a capacitor, it consists of the two conducting plates, and these two conducting plates are of oppositely charged, and between these two plates a dielectric or the insulator is placed. Now question arises here, why a dielectric or the insulator is placed between these two conducting plates? It is placed here because these two plates are of oppositely charged. So according to the electrostatics, the opposite charge attracts each other. So if there is not the presence of any insulator or any dielectric, then these two plates will attract each other and will combine with one another. So in order to keep them separated from one another, we have to place the insulator or the dielectric material here. So these plates are made up of some aluminium foil, while the dielectric may be of any insulator, that may be of air, that may be of ceramic, that may be of paper, or it may be of the mica. And here now you see this, that these two plates are connected with a voltage supply that is of V, and here you see this, the positive charge of this supply V, it is deposited at the plate that is connected with this positive terminal, and this negative charge is deposited at that plate at which this terminal, this negative terminal is connected here. So this plate, it becomes the having the positive charge plus Q, and this plate have the negative charge minus Q here. So when a voltage source V is connected to the capacitor as shown in the figure, the source deposits a positive charge Q on one plate and a negative charge minus Q on the other plate. So the capacitor is set to store the electric charge. Now what will be the amount of that electric charge that is stored in the capacitor? So we have a relationship here, and that relationship is this, the amount of charge that is stored in it and that is represented by Q, it is directly proportional to the applied voltage V. So we can write it as Q is directly proportional to V. So in order to remove the sign of proportionality, and we have to place here the sign of equality, so we have to put a constant here, and that constant is known as the constant of proportionality, and here we are putting C, that is the constant of proportionality, and basically this C is the capacitance of a capacitor, and the unit for the capacitance of the capacitor is the farad. This is a bigger unit, and we can use the microfarad, picofarad, millifarad. So these are the smaller units of this capacitance. So from here we can find the value of C. C is equal to Q over V. So from here we can define that C is the, basically it is the ratio of the charge and the voltage source that is applied at the terminals of it. So capacitance is the ratio of the charge on one plate of a capacitor to the voltage difference between the two plates, that is measured in farad F, and 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb per volt. As we have seen from here, Q is equal to CV. From here we get the value of C. C is equal to Q over V, and the unit for Q is coulomb. and the unit for V is volt. That's why we have written it as that farad is equal to 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb over 1 volt. Now we will see the current voltage relationship of a capacitor. From the equation that we have, Q is equal to CV. When we differentiate it, then we will get the value of dq over dt is equal to C dV over dt. That I am saying about this equation. When we differentiate it, then we will get dq over dt is equal to C dV over dt. But we know that what is dq over dt? In chapter number 1, we have studied that dq over dt is equal to I. What is current? Current is basically the rate of change of charges. So we can write I is equal to dq over dt. So here we will place dq over dt with this I. So that's how we can get this equation I is equal to C dV over dt. Now in order to find the value of V, that is dV over dt is equal to I over C or 1 over C into I. So from this we have to find out the value of V. So in order to find the value of V, we have to remove this derivative from here. So when we want to remove the derivative, then we take the integration here. So this equation will become V is equal to 1 over C integration minus infinity to t I dt, or you may write it as V is equal to 1 over C t naught to t, that is we are taking the integration from t naught to t I dt plus V t naught. Now question is this, that what is this V t naught? So here this V t naught is equal to Q t naught over C. Now what is this Q t naught? That this is the charge at the time t naught. So basically V t naught is the voltage across the capacitor at time t naught. So this is the relationship between voltage and the current, dV over dt and the I, and we are having a straight line here. So basically there is the direct relationship, and this slope, this direct line gives us the capacitance of the capacitor. This slope gives us the capacitance of the capacitor. So when we have to calculate the instantaneous power that is delivered to the capacitor, so P is equal to VI. So by putting the value of I here, we get V as it is, and I is equal to C dV over dt. So we will get the value of instantaneous power that is delivered to the capacitor, and the energy will be half CV square, or we can write it as also energy is equal to Q square over 2C. By putting the value of V or any other unknown, we can also get this formula from here. Now there are some major points that we must know, and these points are this, that this is the equation that I is equal to C dV over dt. From this equation we see this, the voltage across a capacitor, if it is not changing with time, if this voltage is not changing with time, then it means the current is zero in the capacitor. Whenever the derivative of anything is not changing, then it means this at this side the value is equal to 0. That's why when the voltage across a capacitor is not changing with time, that is the DC voltage, the current through a capacitor is 0. So it means a capacitor is an open circuit to DC. Whenever we apply a DC source at the capacitors, then there will be open circuit. Why open circuit? Because as we said here, that there is the current is equal to 0. So when we are saying about the open circuit, then in open circuit no current flows through the circuit. Current is 0 here. That's why a capacitor, it is an open circuit to the DC. So if a battery DC voltage is connected across a capacitor, then the capacitor charges. It gets charged whenever a battery or a voltage is applied to it. the voltage on a capacitor, it must be continuous. So we can say that when it is continuous, then the voltage on a capacitor, it cannot be changed abruptly, while the current that is passes through a capacitor, it can change instantaneously. When we are saying about the ideal capacitor, then the ideal capacitor, it doesn't dissipate any kind of energy, while it takes the power from the circuit when storing energy in its field and returns the previously stored energy when delivering power to the circuit. Now we will discuss the different combinations of capacitor. Capacitor can be connected in parallel, capacitors can be connected in series, capacitors can be connected in series parallel combination. So first of all, we will see when the capacitors are connected in the parallel configuration. So let's suppose that there are the capacitors, that is the C1, C2, C3 up to so on Cn. When these capacitors are connected in parallel, then we see what will be the equivalent capacitance for this. In this figure you may see this, the total current that is supplied to the circuit is I. Then this current is divided between all these branches. That C1, it is having the current I1, C2 having the current I2, C3 having the current I3, and Cn, it is having the current In. But the voltage that is applied across it, this voltage remains same. In parallel circuit, voltage remains same. So this V is equal to V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V3 is equal to Vn, and the current is divided in this circuit. So the equivalent capacitance will be, when we are the equivalent capacitance of n parallel connected capacitors is the sum of the individual capacitances, that is C equivalent is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus up to so on Cn. That is, this circuit is having a form of this, where all these capacitors are having a single equivalent capacitance and a current source is here. You see from these relationships, basically these are the relationships when the capacitors are connected in series. When the capacitors are connected in series, then R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. Sorry, I am saying about the resistors. When the resistors are connected in series, then we get the value of equivalent capacitor, equivalent resistances. R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. But here, when the capacitors are connected in parallel, then we get the value of C equivalent is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. Now, when we connect the capacitors in the series, now let's suppose that there are the capacitors C1, C2, C3 up to so on Cn, and all these capacitors are connected in series. In series circuit, the current remains same, but the voltage that is applied, it is divided between the all the elements that are present in it. So this voltage is divided between V1, V2, V3, Vn. So that's how, why we have written it as V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 up to so on Vn. And when we are saying this, that current remains same, then it means in series circuit charge remains same. When we are discussing about the capacitors, here we say this, that the current remains same in a series circuit, then it means the charge remains same. So in capacitors we say that when the capacitors are connected in series circuit, then the charge remains same. But while when the capacitors are connected in parallel, then the charge is divided between the branches. So the equivalent capacitance in this case, the equivalent capacitance of the series connected capacitor is the reciprocal of the sum of reciprocals of the individual capacitances. That is 1 over C equivalent is equal to 1 over C1 plus 1 over C2 plus 1 over C3 plus up to so on 1 over Cn. And if there are two capacitors, that is C1 and C2 that are connected in series, then we will get the equivalent capacitance. C equivalent is equal to C1 C2 over C1 plus C2. Now in this case you see this, basically this is the formula we get when the resistors are connected in parallel. Then equivalent resistance is equal to 1 over R equivalent is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3 up to so on 1 over Rn. But we are getting this formula for the capacitors when they are connected in series. Now we will solve an example. Here we are having an example in which we have to find out the equivalent capacitance. So first of all, from this terminal we have to see the equivalent capacitance. So first of all, this 20 microfarad and this 5 microfarad, these two capacitors are connected in series, while this 6 microfarad and this 20 microfarad, these two capacitors are connected in parallel. So when we solve it, the parallel and series combination, so when we are solving the 20 microfarad and 5 microfarad that are connected in series, then we will get C equivalent is equal to 20 multiplied by 5 divided by 20 plus 5. So we will get the 4 microfarad here. That is, for this 20 and 5, we will get the value of 4 microfarad. So when we will solve for this 6 and 20, then these two are in the connected in parallel, then they will be added. So we can get the value here. Now when we solve for this 6 and 20 microfarad, then we will get the answer of 26. Now this 26 is in parallel with 4 microfarad. So when we solve for that, then we will get the value of it. So this 26 is parallel with 4. So 26 plus 4, that is equal to 30. Here they are solving all the three capacitors that are connected in parallel. I am solving for, first of all solving for 2 and then the last one also added in that. But here they are solving for the 3. So 30 microfarad. Now this 30 microfarad and this 60 microfarad that are connected in series. So when they are connected in series, we solve for that. Then C equivalent is equal to 20 microfarad. So that will be the equivalent capacitance for this series parallel combination circuit. Now in the next example, we have to find out the voltage across each capacitor. Here we are having the 4 capacitors. Let's suppose this is C1, this is C2, this is C3 and this is C4. We have to find out the value of V1, V2, V3. Here the V4 is not mentioning here because this capacitor, this 20 millifarad and this 40 millifarad, both are in parallel with each other, and in parallel the voltage remains same. So it means that when we get the value of V3, that will also be the value of V4, that will also be the value of this 20 millifarad. So now let's solve this question. So first of all, we have to find out the equivalent capacitance for this. Now in this case, you see this, there is the parallel combination of these two capacitors and series combination of these two capacitors. So first of all, we will solve for the parallel combination of these two capacitors. So when we solve for the parallel combination of these two capacitors, then 40 plus 20, that is equal to the 60. Now this 60 millifarad, 30 millifarad and 20 millifarad, all these three capacitors are in series. So when we solve for these three capacitors, then C equivalent is equal to 10 millifarad. Now simply we are having this circuit, the total voltage is 30 and C equivalent is equal to 10 millifarad. So the total current we can calculate from here. So Q is equal to C equivalent V. When we multiplied this with each other, then 0.3 coulomb will be the total charge of this circuit. Now here you see this battery is basically giving the total charge of 0.3 coulomb. This 20 millifarad and this 30 millifarad, these two capacitors are in series with this voltage source. And I have mentioned it earlier that in the series circuit the charge remains same. So it means this 0.3 coulomb is also the charge of this 20 millifarad and this 30 millifarad, as these are in series with this voltage source. That's why the Q1 is equal to, that is the charge for 20 millifarad, that is also 0.3, and for 30 it is also 0.3. So V1 is equal to Q over C1. So from here we can find out the value of V1, that is equal to 15 volt, and the value of V2 will be equal to 0.3 divided by 30 milli, that is equal to 10 volt. Now if when we have solved this 40 and 20 millifarad, then we get the 60 millifarad here. There is a simple series circuit in which the three capacitors are the 20, 30 and 60 millifarad. So the charge for this 60 millifarad is also 0.3. So we can calculate the V3 from here, that is V3 is equal to 60 divided by 0.3 divided by 60. So we will get the value of V3, that will equal to 5 volt. Another thing you can also do, because this is the series circuit, so you can apply the KVL here. So V3 is equal to 30 minus V1 minus V2. So when we solve for it, then we will get the value of 5 volt here. So there are the two approaches here, two methods here to find out the value of V3. You may choose from any one of them. It is up to you. You may apply the KVL here, or you may simply apply the series circuit here. And also you know that in series circuit the charge remains same. So the value for this 60 millifarad will also be equal to the 0.3 coulomb. So you can use it. So this is how we can find out the value of voltage across each capacitor. And this voltage V3 is also that is equal to V4, that is also the voltage for the 20 millifarad. So this was all about the capacitors, in which we have seen that basically what capacitors are, how they can be connected in a circuit, and how we can get the equivalent capacitance and the different unknown values that are given to us. So if you have any query or any question relating this, then you can discuss it with me during the question answer session. Also try to solve the examples as well as the questions that are in exercise, and in those if you have any question, then you can discuss it with me. Thank you.